Well, deciding for something to edge the path in the new vegetable garden, I went foraging on my own land, and these are the fencing posts which have been there for 17 years plus, so they're well kind of watered, as they say. These were down in the very lower garden, so I brought them up. Now there's two slim ones which I won't be using, but these nice thick chunky ones, they'll be the start of the path edging. So I've sawn off the pointy ends. You can see where I've sawn. This one, the pointy end had rotten away, so that's okay. So there we go. So far, the new vegetable garden has cost me $0. Oh, and I've made an appointment for tomorrow morning for the dentist, so I may be out of action over the next few days. Well, I've got those fencing posts laid, and I'm now foraging about in the barn here for some of my own wood that's been grown here at Bealtaine Cottage. And this is all bits of willow, which was cut over a year ago now. And you may recall I moved it up to the barn to dry it out for next year's burning. But there you go, you just use what you have, that's the principle. And again, to date, $0 cost. Now I'm going to use some of my homemade compost, but I'm going to have the luxury of buying in a few bags of compost. So that will probably be the only cost, that and some bark chippings. So, I'm exhausted now. I think I may go and have a cup of tea. Well, I'm back from the dentist now about an hour. I had an extraction, so the pain hasn't kicked in just yet. So I thought I'd steam right in here. Stopped off at the garden centre and I bought some sacks of bark chippings, whatever they're called. And so I'm going to be doing the path over here, and then I'm going to be laying some of the compost. And yeah, got some more logs in there and bits of fence posts that I've cut down. And a little surprise to show you. because my daughter came around yesterday and she said, "Mum, I'm going to solve this problem for you." Well, it wasn't a problem to me, but my children don't like to see me dicing with death on a daily basis. So I'll show you that in a few minutes. It's a beautiful afternoon. I've got a big pot of soup on the go in there, and I've just come back over from the vegetable garden to grab the camera and share with you the next stage. So I haven't been down the garden yet to show you that little thing I wanted to show you, but never mind, I will get there. So it's beginning to take shape, as you can see. So I've planted that bottomless pot there. I'm going to put some herbs in it, and also the parsley that you can see now in what is a black pot is actually a bottomless pot. So that's my first planting with a bottomless pot. I'm spreading the bark on the path, so you can see I've used all the timber that you see is timber from Bealtaine Cottage, including the old fencing posts which were here when I first came. So spreading the soil now, as you can see, and also over here I have some cardboard. I've got 2 layers of cardboard there. I need some more cardboard for the edge along here, and I won't be doing further than the end of the wattle fence because I want to make the other fence, which perhaps I'll get done today, maybe tomorrow. I'm working through a pretty aching mouth, I should say, because the painkiller's just wearing off now, you know, from the tooth extraction, but I think it's better just to keep working rather than sitting on my derriere inside thinking about how sorry I feel for myself. There's no point in that. So I'll keep going, and it does give me quite a high level of joy anyway, which I think counteracts the pain. A high level of joy just to get this little vision that I had into reality. What do you think so far? Oh, and I've decided as well, see along here where the rhubarb is, I'm going to make a few willow teepees to grow beans and peas up and plant them in there, because that's quite a nice little sunspot. And I'm going to raise that up a little bit with some more compost, which I'll put on top. So I'll have a kind of a raised bed behind a raised bed, but raised even more. I shouldn't be laughing because my gum hurts. Oh, but at least it does release those good, whatever they're called, the good vibes and good hormones, good pheromones, or whatever they're called. Yeah. Okay. It's probably actually why a woman doesn't feel much pain or discomfort after the actual birth, that she's so elated, she's so joyful, that it kind of dissipates the pain. Now there's a thought. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'll stop there. So So, I've done as much work as I can do now on the vegetable garden. I'll just talk you through what I've done so far. Right. Chamomile I've planted straight into the ground there, because that's quite rampant. The parsley and the lemon balm are both in bottomless pots. The flat leaf parsley is in bottomless pot as well. And the mint, both the mints are in their full pots. I don't want them spreading. So I finished the bark chipping path, and I'm now spreading compost, and I'm spreading some bought-in compost as well. I think in total, just trying to think, just trying to tot up in my head, in total the entire vegetable plot has cost me less than €50. That's it in its entirety. I'm spreading some of the bark chippings along here as well, and I'm keeping that sort of rotted down little wood pile there, wood and brush, because this space is going to lend itself really well to growing beans. So I'm going to make some bean poles. I've got lots and lots of bamboo growing, so I can harvest my own bamboo and make the bean poles. So beans are going to go in there, and it's a lovely sunny spot as well. It's quite sheltered. I've got some more cardboard to put in along the back there, and I have more of the wattle fencing to make and to finish off. I've been digging in along the path here and taking out as much creeping buttercup and meadowsweet as I can get my hands on, and removing nettles, because I have nettles in other spots. So I've got this bit to finish up here with some cardboard and then the wattle fencing. So I'm pleased with what I've done so far, and I've been working all day following a visit to the dentist this morning, and I've had a tooth extracted. So hence my slight lisp at the moment, because it's at the front, and I have to get a little plate, I think, fitted in there or something. Anyway, I've just kept working, because there's no point in sitting in the cottage feeling sorry for myself. At least out here working on the land, I've got lots of joyful energy coming at me all the time, which is wonderful. I love it. And time enough to rest later on, maybe read a book, maybe go to bed early and rejuvenate. So I'm going to take you down to this little spot that I was telling you about earlier. I got a phone call from my daughter yesterday, and she said, "Mum, those sleepers, the railway sleepers, are €22.50. Should I buy a couple? And at the hardware store, should I buy a couple and bring them over? And between us, we'll make a little bridge." This is the spot where I used to just leap across, and I've had to suffer the constant ridicule of my children, who said, "You'll slip, you'll fall, you'll have an accident, you'll break a leg." Anyway, so the talk was very much, over the past 2 years or so about making a little bridge here, and I kept putting it off, thinking, I can just keep leaping across. But anyway, let me just walk the bridge, walk the plank. These railway sleepers should stay good for, 15, 20, 30 years maybe. They're pretty thick. So it took us about an hour from getting them out of her car. Now, my daughter has a small car, so they were poking out the window. Getting them out of the car, and they're very heavy, so it took us quite a bit of effort carrying, one between us. But we got them over from, the far side of the pond over there in the driveway, and didn't didn't take us long, like I said, about an hour in total from, you know, moving them, putting them in place, digging them in a little bit, and putting some gravel around them as well to help secure them. And here we go. I now have a bridge. I feel I should open it, you know, with a big ribbon and a bottle of champagne. It's a bit like Tower Bridge, you know. But I think it looks very much in keeping with everything here. It's not out of place, and my daughter made that little handrail. I think it was last year. Yeah, possibly last year. Like I say, the videos are not in playlists. They're all not random. I mean, you know, you can actually get them into chronological order, starting with the oldest coming forward. But anyway, let me just walk down here a little bit and I'll show you the bridge from this vantage point. So between the gravel and the new vegetable garden and the bridge, quite a lot of changes. Now, does not look in keeping. And now with the primroses coming out on the banks, what I will do over the course of the summer, as and when I collect them up, and I'm going to plant ferns in down along here. The primroses will spread anyway, but I think some ferns would be rather lush. Well, there we go. That's my other little surprise I wanted to share with you.